Welcome back to This Week in Events. I'm Bob Tuvey from Event Planner News. This week, for this episode, I'm joined by Christina O'Connell, who's in New Zealand. Hello, Christina.
Hello. Long time no see.
Oh, no, glad to have you back.
I'm glad to be back.
So, before we dive into your choices for this week, a big thank you to our partners, Vivid Inc. and Eventflow, for their continued support. Much appreciated. So, Christina, you have a couple of stories, actually, connected stories that you wanted to go into.
Yeah. So I think let's talk about the first one, which I think it's quite an interesting one, and I think it's a good one to discuss. So it's the news that EMC3 Collective launches a healthcare agency. So EMC3 Collective, like big agency itself, launches like a smaller agency within its company. This is what I understand it, how I understand it. Um, and it's quite interesting, an agency that's very specific to a topic like healthcare. I know healthcare is quite trending right now, and people are more and more invested in health and mental well-being, things like that. But I just wonder if there are other agencies as well that are very focused on just one topic, or if this is like a brand new initiative that has just launched.
I was just looking at their website.
Hmm.
So they create unforgettable experiences for the world's leading brands. So if they're getting into healthcare, that's quite a thing.
Yeah, I think it's quite a big agency in the UK. I think it's um I think they do events for like TikTok, for Google, for Microsoft. Like it's
Oh, yeah.
pretty high
HP as
level.
well. So,
Yeah. I think it's high level stuff. So I think if they've gone and done this, and I think in the article there's also a lot of video. So it's they've got a campaign behind it. Um I think it's just so interesting to me. Like an agency that's specific to healthcare, it means that they probably have a lot of clients and a lot of people interested in these types of events in order for a whole agency to be focused on this particular, sector.
yeah. So for a large agency to change focus, however much of a change it is, it's they're only going to change because they've got clients who are asking for it.
I don't think it's about changing. I think it's about adding. So
Okay.
it's like an agent. It's like infection. It's like agency within an agency. So I think their agency is EMC3 Collective, and then this agency is going to be called something Life. I think. Yeah, it's going to be called, I suppose, EMC3 Life is, but it's a I'm not sure actually. Is it another agency within the agency, or is it just like a department within the agency?
So that bit's not become too clear at the moment then.
No. I wonder what it would be.
Yeah, interesting. Okay. So it sounds like they've got clients who are asking for something extra and they're just responding to that. So is that because we know at the moment Gen Z, however I like to pronounce it, I'm English, so it's got to be Z. They're obviously at the moment leading the way and much more concerned over health issues, whether it's physical or mental health. So maybe it's part of that they're responding to.
Yeah. Okay. So I think I misunderstood it. So it's not an agency. It's a brand.
Ah,
So
okay.
it's a yeah. So it's called EMC3 Life, and it's a brand that's within the EMC3 family.
Okay, so they were still, I suppose you could still call it an agency with an agency because it is a team set up to deal with that
Mm-hmm.
brand.
And according to them, the move draws on healthcare expertise that reportedly already exists within the business. So it would be interesting to have more statistics on that,
Yes, we know
wouldn't it?
from previous episodes and previous discussions, especially in season one, more detailed statistics and reporting sometimes is a little lacking. So, but yeah, okay. Well, maybe it's something they've just started doing. So, but I'm sure more will
Yeah,
become clear because that sort of thing is quite important, and I'm sure they want to make sure everybody's aware of it.
yeah, definitely, definitely. And I mean, obviously, if they say that there is like an urgency for it, or if there are clients constantly asking for these types of things, then that's really great. But it would be really great when you read an article to have some statistics to go alongside of it, don't you think?
Yeah, but it depends whether that author of the article actually had any of the statistics to hand. I don't think it's a case of that it's been omitted, but it's probably when they received either a press release or had some sort of communication with the EM3 that wasn't provided, which is a bit of a shame. It's always nice to know a bit more detail.
Yeah,
But that
yeah.
does kind of tie up with the second thing,
Mm.
with the venues
Also
collection.
about health. Yeah, also about health, isn't it?
Yeah,
So the second story was a little bit older, I suppose. But it was about the venues collection launching an allergen kit at its venue. And I suppose that's kind of, for me, it's like half half. It's connected with health, of course, but it's also connected with food. And when I read that article, I was like, oh, this is the first time I'm hearing of it. Oh my gosh, I never thought about allergy. Like, okay, that's me maybe being a bit silly and not thinking about it, but sometimes you just, I don't know, it just doesn't come straight to your mind. But of course, when people go to events, they say, yes, I will eat this, I will not eat this, I'm allergic to this. But I don't think there's as much of a push on allergies within catering and this type of thing. And just how serious it is if someone does make a mistake and puts a plate in front of because it's so easy to make a mistake. If you have a 500 people event and one waiter, maybe he's learning, maybe he's new, I don't know, something could happen, put the plate in front of the wrong person. I would like to see like a behind the scenes of how much pressure is put on to this kind of
yeah,
thing.
that would be interesting. It is considered as an industry first.
Mm-hmm.
I think it may have been a concern before, but it may have been a case, oh, this person's having an allergic reaction. I better call the emergency services. Now we've got the venues collection actually having kits on site so they can respond really, really quickly. And obviously having staff trained on how to use those kits. So having that as a first response, as opposed to I better call somebody, that's
But
really important.
I would have thought that that's like all the venues have that.
Well, this is why I think it's considered as an industry first because I don't think anybody else has really come up with this.
Mm, yeah,
I mean, if
I
you're
suppose
going to
they
call
just
it an
trust.
issue, well, yeah, if you're going to call it an industry first, I suppose you better have it as nobody thought of it, otherwise it wouldn't be first. But anyway, um, so yeah, I think it's a really neat thing to do. Actually, have allergen kits on site to deal with things. Um, it's interesting because when it comes to dietary requirements, do you feel that people are actually, well, from all your experience of visiting venues and going to special events and food and drinks offered, are people asking enough ahead of time what dietary requirements are? Or do you think it's just they hope that you'll make a wise choice and know what you should be choosing?
Um, I think that the conversation around food is ongoing. The conversation around catering is ongoing, especially with this whole sustainable food or, vegetarian options. And that's obviously tied to alcohol beverages and the variety that is there. Um, I mean, my experience was yes, if an invite came through, they would always ask you in an email, hey, that's the first thing. Do you have any allergies? Can you eat everything? But I obviously don't have any allergies. So it was very straightforward. I have nothing to worry about. But if I did have allergies, um, I want to know like what the experience would be. Like if I would say, yes, I can't eat this, this, and this, how would that, how would that actually be executed on the night? Would there be people, hey, Christina, you have the allergy. Can we talk to you more specifically about, what it is? Da, 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 da. So I can't fully say, that first-hand experience. But I think the communication is there. The communication is there. But I would love to see more of I was always obviously taking part in the event. If I would like to research this kind of topic, it would be interesting to just be like in the background and just watch what the venue is actually doing and how they are treating these, the people who have allergies or whatnot. Like if the things that they are allergic to, a lot of the time it's on the table for us to kind of take as we please. So I wonder if there's a conversation about if you're allergic to bread, bread should not be anywhere near you. If you're allergic to, something like that, the proximity of what's around you, I guess those are details though in the end.
For people with allergies, it must be extremely difficult. The most common
Yeah,
one, I think, is nut allergies,
yeah,
where it could be something that you wouldn't have thought it went anywhere near nuts, but because the packaging and the manufacturing is happening in the same building, you may contain nuts on it. And you think, how on earth would this ever have nuts? So it becomes very difficult to know what you should be avoiding.
yeah, exactly. I think, and also if you're at a event with like 1,000 people or 500 people, everything becomes so much trickier and so much harder. And I know that like obviously for me, obviously working in the events and kind of working, editorially, but also like helping out with the events and going to like an award show and like, helping out and putting the place names on the tables. If I put the wrong place name or the wrong little piece of paper at the wrong table, somebody could die. So,
It becomes
like,
much more important, doesn't it?
yes.
It
So,
comes down to
operations,
it comes down to the venue and the organizer just double checking, triple checking, that sort of thing.
absolutely, and I'm sure they do, and obviously nothing happened. Like this is me being dramatic. Nothing has, nothing ever happened, and there were multiple people checking everything over. But it's one of those things. Is like I don't have that much knowledge about what kind of things have to be done. So I'm always in awe of the people in operations who put these huge events on, and everything goes so seamless.
Yeah. So knowing that the venues collection now has all these allergen emergency kits, it's all of a sudden becomes a much more attractive venue, a much more attractive place to have your conference or meeting.
I think so. I think so, 100%. And also, it provides kind of a wider net for more people to want to attend those events. So it's like maybe before, if there's someone who gets invited and they have an allergy and they have a bad experience, or they don't know where the food has been or what's been going on. But if they know this, if they know this detail from the start, maybe that will put the delegates more at ease, and they'll be like, actually, I know I'm going to be looked after. I know I'm going to be taken care of. And I know that if anything happens, help is right there.
I think in with the state of do you call it the venue industry? Are venues an industry? I don't know. But the state of venues at the moment, any competitive edge is going to be welcomed. And knowing that, again, Gen Z leading the way on the health concerns, if they've got any sort of influence about where a meeting or a conference is going to be booked, they're going to look at this and go, as a health conscious person, I like the sound of this place because they've got an allergen emergency kit.
Yeah, absolutely. And then it makes me think, okay, what else are they offering? Like in terms of health and well-being.
Yeah, if that's an indication that they're willing to go that far to take care of people, then they may exceed in other areas as well.
Absolutely. I mean, in general, the venues collection venues are absolutely gorgeous and stunning, and incredible venues to have any event or to go to event. And I know that their sustainability is, at a good level, and what they're doing, the initiatives that they're doing. So I'm not surprised, but it's really amazing to see at the same time.
Yeah, just reading further through about the information that the venue collection put out. Yeah, so they already have allergen management procedures, and they're already looking improving. Well, they have improved, and they're focusing on clear food labeling, training the catering and front of house teams, and basically just making sure everything is robust so they can just handle what's needed. Well, thank you, Christina. Two great articles, very interesting. It's good to see even more of a focus on health for attendees and delegates, and just for everybody involved with an event to know that there's something there to help them out in case of emergencies.
Yeah, and it will be interesting to see where the industry goes with this topic, with this theme of healthcare, and with food catering, health, looking after all the delegates in the
Yeah,
future.
yeah. Well, we're going to bring this to an end. As you're in New Zealand, it's
Yeah.
getting rather late for you.
It's bedtime for me and morning for you.
It is. I've only had 2 cups of coffee, so I need more of that. Right. Well, thank you very much. Glad to have you back, and we'll have you back again soon.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, Bob.
Well, a huge thank you to Christina for her time, especially the time it is in New Zealand. And a big thank you to our partners for their continued support. Vivid Inc., PR and social media marketing specialist for the event industry, and Eventflow, the secret weapon for event teams who have had it with PDF exhibitor manuals. You can show your support by liking and subscribing. And if you have anything to say about the topics discussed today in the article, please leave a comment. Thank you so much for listening.